Hello, fiber fans, friends and followers. I almost said family. Some of my family watches. Anyhow, my name is Beth, and I am also known as PandemicKnittr in other places on the internet. You can find that information up here. And I am a knitter from the suburbs of Chicago, and I am going to be talking today about so many fun things. I have been working hard on some things that I have finally finished. Yay! And I am going to be announcing the winner of the Queen Sandy bag from last episode's prompt. And Eileen, please forgive me, I have not yet sent yours out. So my plan is then I will get both of those out this week. That's the plan. I will set calendar reminders for every day of the week so that in case I forget it the first day and the second day and the third day and the fourth day, I'll mail it on the fifth day or something like that. Anyhow, I want to get those out. You guys should have them for the holidays. I really want you to be able to, put a bunch of stuff in it and carry all of your gifts to your relative's house in that new tote bag. And people will say, PandemicKnittr, what's that? Who's that? And you can tell them all about me. Anyhow, wow. Okay. I think maybe I have had too much caffeine today. I want to get into what I'm wearing because I'm so excited about that. I am wearing the Letho cardigan, and it is a pattern by Moonstruck Knits, whose name is Natasha Hornby. And I have been working on this for the last 2 months. This has been almost exclusively what I've been working on when I'm knitting. With a few exceptions. I feel like when I'm knitting in public, I'm doing socks and other things, but I did do a lot of this out on knit nights. So a lot of this is stockinette, so that lends itself well to public knitting. First things first, I'm going to talk about the yarn. I'm going to show you the twirl I did in it earlier and get all the nitty gritty out of the way. So this is Universal Yarn Deluxe Worsted Tweed Superwash, which is 90% superwash wool, 7% acrylic, and 3% viscose. The main colorway is Pine, and the purple colorway is Raisin, and the gray colorway is Smoke. And I think this definitely needs a blocking. I'm not sure. It's a machine wash, tumble dry yarn. I'm a little bit afraid to do that. I don't know if any of you out there have experience with this. Please comment below if you have any experience with wool that says it's machine washable, tumble dry. What have you experienced with that? Do you recommend going ahead and doing it? Do you think I should just soak it like I would with my superwash wools? What would you do? Anyhow, what do I want to say about this? I enjoyed the process of this quite a bit. Like the construction I found to be fascinating because you go from the sleeve into the center and then you do sleeve into the center and a 3-needle bind off to connect the two sides together. That was the coolest thing to me. These welts on the sleeve are also repeated on the neckband here, as well as the mosaic color work on both the sleeve and the neckband. A very clever design. The one thing that I noticed, I feel like when I look at the pattern, and how big the collar is on the model, which I think is actually Natasha Hornby, it looks to me like her collar is bigger than mine. So I don't know if I missed part of the instructions. I looked back at the instructions over and over to see, did I miss something? This looks smaller to me. And I know if I wanted to, I could just add more rows and have a bigger collar. But I do like the way this lays on my shoulders. So I don't see any reason to do that, especially after I've done this big, long I-cord bind off here. So yeah, I don't want to redo that. And I think it's going to look even nicer. It's probably going to lay a lot flatter and more, it may even expand out, who knows, once I do block it. So that, who knows. I'm going to take this off and show you what I did with the hem, because I did not, on the bottom hem, I did not follow pattern instructions. So here is my hem. Not this part, because that's part of the button band or the collar, whatever you want to call it. So this is my hem where I did a tubular bind off. Now, that is my third try because my first try was just an Italian bind off without the tubular setup. And my tension was just tight here, loose there, tight here. And it looked awful. It was just kind of squish, loose, squish. And I just went, you know what? Forget this. Now, undoing an Italian bind off is no picnic, as I have heard from other knitters, but I felt like it would be worth it to get a finish that I wanted. So after I undid that, I thought, okay, maybe the designer knew what she was talking about with the idea of doing a regular knit bind off. So I did that all the way across, looking at it and thinking as I was going, this may be a bit flary. I'll insert a picture here of what that looked like. Or no, I'll probably do it here because I'm sure the pattern is here right now. Anyhow, so just this big ripple all the way across, and just did not look good, and I could not imagine that blocking out. So undid that, pulled back a couple more rows, and decided to go with the tubular setup for an Italian bind off. And I felt like that gave me the nice finish that I was looking for. Another thing that happened is when I was doing the brioche collar, I looked at it and I thought, wow, this is way smaller than what it looks like in the pattern. And so I looked at my pattern. Does this happen to any of you? The PDF, the way it prints on my computer, and I don't know if it's my computer, my printer, just my settings, I don't know what is going on, but it cuts off the bottom of things. So I missed an instruction that said, repeat rows, I don't know if it was 1 and 2, 3 and 4, 3 more times. And I'm like, oh, well, there you go. That adds 6 more rows into this brioche collar. Well, I was supposed to do that before a decrease, but because it cut off, I did it after the decrease. And I thought, am I really going to care? And I really don't. Like, it's fine. I don't think you can tell that anything looks wonky there. But who knows, after I block it, maybe then I'll see it and be like, why didn't I do that before? So I just love this. I just love this. I wore it to work yesterday, and of course, my friends who know that I'm a knitter are like, oh, is that hand knit? And I was like, yeah, see, I didn't sew in any of the ends. So I had ends hanging all over the place, including inside the sleeves. I just kind of shoved them in. And, but everybody oohed and ahed over it, and it was very satisfying, unlike my lion's head top that I had talked about previously. And the woman who had said to me she wanted to buy the lion's head top the last time I wore it, she was like, oh my God, I can't believe you made that. This is beautiful. So, I got that satisfaction. It's always so nice to hear when people notice your knitwear. Because a lot of times too, I get from people, you didn't knit that, did you? And I'm like, actually, yes, I did. It's nice to hear compliments. I don't care who says they're embarrassed by compliments. Even being embarrassed by compliments after the fact, after being embarrassed, don't you feel like, yeah, they liked that? Right? I mean, in the moment, totally, I'm embarrassed. But I don't make these things because I want to wear them inside my home. I want to wear them out. I want to wear them in public and be like, hey, this looks good. So don't we all? Maybe it's just me. I don't know. Anyhow, so is that everything I had to say? Oh, I have mentioned it in previous episodes, but this is not the size of the sleeve that is recommended in the pattern. You can see in the picture that the sleeve is way bigger than her wrist, and I chose to go with a more fitted sleeve. I have very detailed information on my Ravelry page for anyone who might be interested. I did make sure to put everything in there about how I altered the pattern. So if you're interested, take a look. And it's all there. What else? Is that everything about the Letho? I'm just loving it. I'm loving it. It's nice and warm. It's toasty. And I have another finished object. Are you ready? So I have talked about this before, but I have finally finished the There and Back Again slippers. And this, I forget who wrote the pattern, but I will have that up here. And I'm going to put these on sock blockers because I feel like they would be better displayed that way. Okay, so here we go. Does it look adorable? I love the texture on this. I used a Lion brand Re-Tweed yarn. This is another machine washable and dryable yarn. I made the size 9. I wear a size 7, so these go well past my toe. So I don't know who these are going to, but they're going to someone. And I hope they find them to be a good fit and keep their feet nice and toasty. I followed the pattern exactly to their specifications. The only thing I did differently is, and it even says it in the pattern, I increased the needle size by, the needle size recommended for the pattern is 2.5, a US 2.5. I went up to a US 3 to do the I-cord bind off. And that's even recommended in the pattern. So I love these. I may even knit a pair of them for myself because, did I say this? With the leftover yarn that I have, let me pull it out. Where's the green? Okay. This is my Letho leftovers. I have this much, plus I also have the green, and I had it here just a minute ago. Did it fall off the table when I picked up the sock blockers? Ah, anyhow, I don't know where it went. It's in here somewhere. I'm thinking it maybe fell behind something that made it so that I can't see it. But I have almost a full skein of the green left over too. So I have plenty of yarn to make matching slippers for this. So I love this there and back again pattern so much that I could see making another pair of slippers and making it in these colors and maybe doing some of like these things on it. I could do a mosaic color work with the purple and then add a gray welt and who knows, or maybe even use the gray for the bind off, the I-cord bind off like I have on this one. I even thought it might be cute to do this center cable in the purple so that it sort of mirrors what we have on the Letho, that back color work. So I don't know. We'll see. That would be a lot of fun. Anyhow, that's that with that. And seriously, you guys, 2 finished objects. What? I'm so excited about that. I actually finished the slippers this morning. So I finished the cardigan Thursday afternoon, sewed in the ends yesterday after school, and then finished the slippers this morning. So it's one of those feel good kind of weeks. And I couldn't even tell you what I would have thought to talk about last week on the episode, which is why I did not record last week. Because I know on my last episode, I said, oh, maybe I'll record next week. I felt like I'm so close to being finished with the Letho cardigan that it seems silly to record when I have nothing to talk about because I made no progress on anything else. And yeah, it just didn't seem like it would be worth it. So I have one work in progress that I am still working on, and I did not bring it in here with me. So I am going to pause recording, go grab that, and I'll come back and talk to you about that. Okay, before I get into my whips, let's do a little admin here because I did not talk at all about the Burra KAL at the beginning of this video. So let me just remind you all that I am still hosting, along with multiple other podcasts, the Marie Wallin Burra KAL. I will put the information for all of the other people who are hosting this on the side here. And please feel free to double dip, triple dip, whatever you want to. I include whips as prize worthy. So I still do have a list of names that I have been keeping track of who have already entered. My hashtag will be on the screen too. I don't know if it'll be here or down here, but you'll see that. That is a hashtag you can use on Instagram, and a lot of the others are doing it on Ravelry. So definitely get your names in there. I am doing yarn giveaways of the yarn that my husband dyed. December 31st is the deadline for that. So if you are working on Marie Wallin's Burra Cowl and you want to get credit for entering into it, please let me know. And, oh, that reminds me. Okay, so I just got, as I was taking my little break to pick up my whip, I just got a text from Terry, who's in my knit group, and her granddaughter was just born. So congratulations, Terry. She's a beautiful little baby. I'm sure you cannot wait to knit all the cute little girly things, because Terry didn't know prior to the birth if it was a boy or a girl. They decided not to find out, which I feel like it's miraculous when that does happen these days, because I think sometimes the intention is not to know, but then you accidentally find out. So that would drive me crazy. I need to know. I don't know how people did it way back before you could even find out that. It makes me crazy. Anyhow, so there's that. What was the other thing? Oh, yes. So now I think what I'll do right here is go ahead and cut to the video where I drew the name for the tote, the Queen Sandy bag. And I will go ahead and show the options available for the tote after this. Okay guys, I got my act together today and actually wrote down names, put them in a hat, and have them ready for my drawing for the Queen Sandy bag. So here we go, shaking them up, making sure they're all moving around in there, and they are. And winner by random draw is stuck together because these are Post-it notes. Joyce Swenson, I think that's her name. It doesn't, like, the whole name doesn't show on there, but I believe it says like yarn motivated. Let me scroll down and look, because I'm on the YouTube page right now. It is yarn motivated Joyce Swenso, it looks like, 9744. So Joyce, congratulations, you get your choice of Queen Sandy bag. Please email me at pandemicknitter@gmail.com and let me know which one you want and what your address is, as well as your full name, because I'm not sure that's exactly what was showing here on YouTube. So congratulations, and I will get that out to you. This time, I promise, it's going out in the mail this week. So Joyce, just as a reminder, congratulations, but these are the three you can choose from. This, the green one with the polka dot sheep, the one with the knitting sayings, and the sheep that look like balls of yarn. I have two of each of these that one was promised to Eileen. So even if you choose the same one that Eileen chose, I still have another one of those. So everything Queen Sandy gave me was matched by another one. So, oh, and you guys, thoughts and prayers with Sandy. I heard she had some kind of something happen where she is unable to sew now. So my heart goes out to you, Sandy. I hope you get well quick. I was gonna send a personal email to her, and that just reminds me now. So yes, Ply Podcast mentioned it on their latest episode, and if you have not watched them, please take a look at them. So my next whip this is not one that came across my radar for me ever. This is one that a friend saw. I don't know where she saw it. I think it maybe was on Pinterest. And she said, hey, could you make this for me? And I said, if you buy the yarn and the pattern, I'll make it for you. So this is I forgot already. I looked at the name when I had the camera off, and Perfect Pockets Shawl, and it is by Sonja Hood of Knit Yourself Out Crochet. And so really it's a growing long thing of half double crochet, and it will be more textury and lacy as I go along. So it is slow going because I gotta tell you, the times that I knit this are when I wake up in the middle of the night and I can't sleep. That's what I do. I knit a row of this, or crochet a row of this. That's been the times that I've been doing this. So, you know, that's happened a few times, not many. And I do think that may be my next, not necessarily my next priority whip, but it will be up there. It will be up there. I don't think I have a project page for that yet. Okay, so where am I at? I've done finished objects. I've done whips. That's all my current whips that I have worked on at all in the last 2 weeks, I believe. I do have something new to me, but of course I left it downstairs. So I'm going to go grab that. I'll be right back. Okay, so here is what I ordered. It is a little bag. I got it from an Etsy shop that is run by the ladies of Flock Around the Table, which is a podcast here on YouTube. I've mentioned them before, but I enjoy watching them. They don't do a whole lot of knitting, but they're good to listen to while they chit chat about life, the universe, and everything. These are a bunch of progress keepers, stitch markers, needle holders, needle stoppers, I guess you'd say, needle huggers, I don't know. And then it's all wintry themed things. So they have an Etsy shop. I have it linked below. If you're interested, these are very affordable, and they could be good gifts for anyone, something you could put on your list. And I'm just realizing, oh, there it is, fell in my lap. They had added this little piece of bling to the outside of the bag as a little kind of a festive decoration, which I could totally see being on my knitwear. I should use that as a progress keeper on something. Anyhow, you could ask for these from relatives if they're looking for an affordable gift for you as a knitter. You know, you could recommend that Etsy shop to them, and they're very quick. So super cute, totally loving it. And that's all my new to me. So let's go to comments. Are you ready? So my Queen Sandy prompt was #holidays. I asked people to share what they do as far as traditions for holidays and things like that. And so starting off, Janet says, I love the collar, and then in parentheses says neckband, on your Christmas sweater. It sits so nicely around your neck and shoulders. The not typical green you chose takes the sweater from the traditional and boring to unexpected and exciting, giving your sweater a modern twist. Excellent job. Thank you, Janet. She's referring to this sweater. This is what I wore in the last episode, and this is my Christmas decor here. I don't know if I mentioned that already. I didn't go to the extent of putting up lights or anything, but there's my Christmas decor. Eileen says, wow, I won. So she was the winner of the Queen Sandy bag on the last episode. And there's some interesting comments coming up about another Queen Sandy bag giveaway that I did where I did a little mistake. And Eileen also says, love the sweater you're wearing, talking about this one. Thank you, Eileen. Colleen, Selfish Knitter, says, okay, let me dive into why we're talking about this. So I had said on last episode something about Ravelry doesn't have a place that says when you actually started your project page. I'm wrong. I am totally wrong about that. I have missed it because it's a tiny little font at the bottom right-hand corner of the page, which is what Selfish Knitter actually points out to me. She says, on your Ravelry project page, scroll down and look on the bottom right of your pattern and yarn details. You should see the date that you created the project as well as the date it was originally queued if you use the queue feature, and the last date you updated the project. I hope that helps. Yes, it helps tremendously. I had read a comment from another person. I think was it Joyce? Let me go back. Let me look because, oh no, it was Leslie. Leslie says, you made me go check Ravelry because they do have the dates on project pages. Start, updated, finished, etc. Just below the about boxes on the right-hand side of the page. Haha. I had asked for the sheep. Oh, wait. I don't want to get into a second thing. So she said that, and I was thinking she was talking about the top of the page where you fill that in yourself. And so I was like, really? I don't think she knows what she's talking about. But then when Colleen said it, she was more specific about where it was on the page. And I was like, oh, they do have it. So thank you. Thank you both for pointing that out. I appreciate that because I feel like that helps me tremendously in the future. So thank you both, ladies. The next comment comes from, I believe it's pronounced Aneta, but it's spelled the same as Anita. But the reason I believe that is I'm pretty sure this is Aneta from DudeKnits. So please correct me if I'm wrong. Aneta says, oh, and DudeKnits, by the way, ALT, Aneta, Leah, and Tasha, I think are their names. They have a YouTube podcast. So she says, great episode. Thank you, Aneta. We always drive around to look at Christmas lights, and when the kids were little, we made a birthday cake every year for baby Jesus. I love that. I think that's so fun to make a birthday cake, and I'm wondering, did you sing happy birthday? Or did you sing Christmas carols? What was the pre-birthday cake eating plan there? That sounds like so much fun. I want to go back to Leslie's comment. She says, I had asked for the sheep that looked like yarn balls. So cute. When I won, and you sent me a different one. Not complaining. And I'm like, I sent you the wrong one? Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. Like, even though it's free, I still feel like you should get the one that you asked for. I am so sorry that I sent you a different one than what you asked for. I'm assuming I sent you the other one that had sheep on it. I don't know what I was thinking. It was probably one of those, I know what she asked for, and I just packaged it up and sent it off. And I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. So she goes on to say, I'm on my final project for the Hohi KAL. So Hohi Locatelli has a fall knit along every year with any of her projects. And so she's got 7 projects that she's doing, and she's on her final one, which is a pair of shorty socks. And she says, saved for last on purpose. So, wow, Leslie, I'm so impressed that from the beginning of September to the end of November, you were able to knit 7 projects. Like, that's amazing to me. That's amazing. And, you know, this brings me to just within this last week, Colleen, Selfish Knitter, said something about procrastinating on Instagram. And so I started listing the ways that I procrastinate. And so one of the things that I listed was video games. And she said, oh, tell me more about that. Well, I am like a casual game player. So like the matching things, like a lot of people play Candy Crush. That's not my favorite, but it's that type of game. And I like to play Sudoku. I do the New York Times games every day, the Wordle and the Connect, and is it called Connect or Connection? I don't know. And they have the mini crossword, and there's one other one that I do, I feel like, and I can't remember what it is. Anyhow, every morning, that's what I do. I spend an hour waking up, drinking coffee, doing Sudoku and the New York Times games. And then I have this other game on my tablet that I play. It's called Be Brilliant, where you like put together, like, you know, you swipe to gather all of the bees of the same color. And so I do the daily, they have a daily game that you play. Like, here's the daily one. And if you do them every single day at the end of a month, you get an in-game prize, which is like a ticket to do a tournament. So it's nothing worth anything unless you play the game. But these are the kinds of things that I do that take up time that I could be knitting. And like, that's an hour a day. Like, I wake up at 5 a.m. and I shower at 6. That whole time, if I wanted to, I could be knitting. And I kind of want to, but at the same time, part of me is like, which game do I give up? How do I do this? This is what I do in the morning. So, I don't know why I ended up on this tangent. What am I doing? Oh, yes, because Leslie finishes all these things. Well, you know, 2 months to finish this. And I don't know how long to finish these. And I probably could have finished all of that a long time ago if I dedicated even half of that morning time to knitting instead of playing my stupid casual games. So, good job, Leslie. Okay, Carista of Sweet Mountain Crafts says, fun to see your current makes. Your Letho is looking great. Thank you, Carista. Carista also has a podcast. Is it Sweet Mountain? Yeah, Sweet Mountain Crafts. I believe that's her podcast. And she owns a yarn shop called Wyoming Yarns. So if you're not familiar, please go check them out. Lucille says, holiday, #holiday. When our children were growing up, we always went driving around neighborhoods looking at Christmas lights and decorations. They were so beautiful. Yes, there are some neighborhoods that are better than others around here, but yeah, that is always a fun thing to do. I remember in my neighborhood years ago, there was one house where they had, it was like a Christmas carnival. It was these huge light things where like it was Ferris wheels and stuff with characters on them, and it was all lit up and everything. I don't remember if they had music. I don't think they did. I think that's before the time of the whole like matching the lights and the music kind of thing. but I feel like those came in close proximity to each other. That YouTube video that I think everybody's seen with the Carol of the Bells. Is that what it is? No, it's that Christmas in something song. It's not coming to me. But it's one of those songs that everybody knows, and there's a house that the lights kind of went with the music, and it's Sarajevo. Christmas in Sarajevo. I believe that's the name of the song. But like it's got a really great like heavy beat to it and fun song. You can dance to it. 9 out of 10. Anyhow, Peggy says, hi Peggy, hashtag holiday. We celebrate with too much food and even more desserts. Yep. But the best part is having family together. I am very blessed to almost always have my family nearby. I have 2 daughters and they take turns hostessing, so that's even better. So yes, I think I'm looking forward to that day. And here with Peggy's comment, I called her Sharon. And let me tell you why. Here's what happened. So here's what happened, as Nitty McPurley would say. I saw in the morning Peggy's comment. And the night before, I had seen that Sharon posted a comment. And for some reason, when I got up that morning, I was thinking, oh yeah, I never answered Sharon's comment last night. So this must be the comment that Sharon made. So I answered it, didn't have my glasses on. And then I looked at it after I posted and went, oh man, wrong name, wrong person. And oh yeah, I did answer Sharon's comment last night. So Peggy, I apologize to you and Sharon. And Sharon says, hashtag holidays, an old tradition. When I was a kid, my parents, not anxious to get up early on Christmas morning, I'm with you there, parents, would put our stockings in mine and siblings' bedrooms after we were asleep. We were not allowed to come out of our rooms until 8 o'clock, but we could open our stocking gifts. They'd put things like Scotch tape. I think she meant Santa. Santa would put things like Scotch tape and colorful Band-Aids that we could use up without restriction. I'd put Band-Aids all over dolls and toys and myself. There would always be a new box of crayons, and to this day, brand new crayons bring back this memory. The items became more grown up as we grew up, but the stockings in the bedrooms happened until I left home. That sounds like a great plan. I'm sure as a young parent would have appreciated that advice, because I cannot tell you how many times I was up until wee hours of the morning wrapping the presents that hadn't yet gone under the tree and doing all of the preparations, and Santa needed to come and waiting for Santa. And yeah, when the kids get up so early that you're like, I want to go back to bed. I don't feel like opening presents. Yeah, it's what a great idea. So any young parents out there, heed this advice. I think it's fantastic because the kids get to celebrate Christmas already and the parents get to sleep. And, you know, maybe you miss the stocking opening, which that's not the most fun part of the opening. So no big deal, right? No big loss. Stephanie says, as I age, I try to wing it and be less and less traditional. I like that, Stephanie. Worship is the only real consistent tradition. With a little grandson, we just play it by ear, and it's less pressure to do things just because we've always done them or done them in a certain way. Just relax and enjoy. Yeah, I know years ago after my grandma passed away, my mom was like trying to bake all of the things that my grandma used to bake, as well as the ones that she would make for Christmas. And it was just too much. And of course I helped out. I was in the kitchen with her, mixing up this and measuring that and whatever, with a long time of doing things. And I think that my mom wanted to keep that sense of tradition with the desserts. But I felt like, we've always had more desserts than we could eat, and leftover desserts for longer than it would be, we would end up getting rid of a lot of the stuff. And that was part of the tradition that my mom felt was important to keep. And I was like, there are some things that we need to let go of. We don't have to have everything as a tradition. And I like the fact that, Stephanie says, worship is the only real consistent tradition. I feel like, when you think about what the holiday is, that should be the primary focus. The family, the togetherness, and whatever your faith may be, hold on to that. And, the things you do, the things you make, the gifts you give. I feel like I don't like my bangs right now as I'm talking about this. My whole, as I'm trying to talk about not being overly superficial. I don't know why it took me so long to think of it. So you want to think about what's important. And of course, the look of my bangs, totally unimportant. But ironic, coincidental, which one is it? Anyhow, keep the deep things, keep the important traditions, and let go of unimportant things. Who cares what desserts are on the table? Who cares what presents are under the tree? Be together with your family and think about the reason that you are there together. Anyhow, I feel like you guys have no idea how long it actually took me to come up with that word. I actually had to stop recording because I could not think of it. I had to look it up. I had to Google it because I had a related word in my mind. And anyhow, Joyce, our Queen Sandy Bag winner, says, holiday traditions are a lot to capture in a YouTube comment. I think the coziest is coffee, tea, hot chocolate, and home-baked treat while we enjoy giving and receiving as a celebration of Christ. So yes, you get that hang out with the family feeling, eat something yummy and warm, and, just enjoy the holiday. And I think that's you've summed it up very well, Joyce. Tara of Yarn Chicken and SH1T, also a podcaster here on YouTube, go check her out, says, I'm from Texas and I don't think twice about driving an hour to get somewhere, as I don't think it is that far. 15 minutes is practically next door. Yeah, so if you did not see last episode, go back and check out what I was saying about that. Somebody had mentioned in their comment that their nearest local yarn shop was 3 hours away. And I was like, wow, an hour is about what mine is. And even that is I don't really look forward to making that drive because it just seems a little too far away. And I think for me, it's a good thing. It's a good thing that yarn shops are that far away from me, because if they were closer than that, I could totally see me being tempted to buy so much more yarn on a regular basis. And there might be times that I'm just like, oh, I'll just step up by the yarn shop and pick up an extra needle and no big deal. But then what else am I coming home with, right? I don't know about you, but that would be me. Doris says, this blew me away. I live on a small farm, small, she says, of 125 plus or minus acres outside a small town in far upstate Pennsylvania. The town doesn't have a red light or any fast food business, certainly no yarn or craft store. So was it her? Maybe it was her that said that she lives 3 hours from a yarn shop. So 125 acres, that sounds like a lot to take care of. And I would imagine, it's just a guess, some of it is just like animals roam and you don't really do much with it. It's just fenced, I would assume. I don't know. I don't know. I'm so curious about this, Doris. I want to know, what do you raise? What do you grow? What's happening on that farm, Doris? That sounds like a lot of work. And I do you hire people to help? I mean, 125 acres, that's a lot. That's a lot. And I'm curious about your thoughts on the whole ag industry and what's going on recently. Oh, would I love to pick your brain, Doris. One of my baton twirlers, a couple years back, her grandparents live in central Illinois, and they have a farm. And we were at a baton contest together, and I just kind of like picked their brain about stuff in farming and like what's happening and things like that. And it was really interesting to talk to them. I'm curious I feel like the concept of a farmer is foreign to me. And I don't personally know or talk to any farmers on a regular basis. But when you think about it, here in America, as a general rule, I would imagine that most of the territory that the USA covers is probably farmland. 125 acres, that's a lot of land. Like, you probably can't see it all from one place. Can you like stand in a place on your farm and go, this is all mine? I mean, you probably could. You probably could, like, as far as the eye can see, say, this is all mine. I can't imagine that, because I just look out my window and there's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 7 houses, 8. No, I was going to say 8 yards. 7 houses I can see. 5 yards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 yards. Trees are blocking the other ones. And I can't see the house that's directly this way, kitty corner from me, but I can see their yard. Anyhow, so that's why for me, that's like, whoa, really? And I mean, I'm sure there are other people who would be like, yeah, in my building alone, I can't even say the whole building is mine, you know? So it's funny how differently people live in the US, let alone all over the world. Wow. Okay. So guys, I've gotten so far from knitting. I'm going to end on that. So I'm not sure what my knitting future holds. I will definitely be crocheting that project for my friend. I don't think I'm doing any Christmas knits to come. Meaning gift. I may begin working on my Jennifer Steingass Hinterland sweater again, just because here we are in the Christmas season, and this is the time of year that I would want to work on that. And maybe even a Christmas pair of socks with one of these yarns, and put it into one of these bags, which is actually, those two yarns were in these two smaller bags here. This one's from Chris, who I knit with on a regular basis. And this other one, I can't even tell what I'm pointing to. This one, I don't even know where I got that one. I'm sure I got it on Etsy or something. You know, my personal taste is I would like to look like an elf just came into my house and threw things everywhere. I wish I had enough stuff for that, but I haven't gotten that far. Anyhow, I'm starting to kind of wane off here. Let's end this on a more upbeat note. Tell me what you're doing. Tell me what you're working on. Remember to keep thriving, keep surviving, and like and subscribe. And guys, that's really important. I feel like the last episode I did not get a whole lot of that. So I don't know if it's just that the algorithm wasn't there with me or what it was, but please do so. And I will see you in the next episode. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.